Okay. I think we're going. All right. I'm talking with Otim and Dave today, obviously. I'm sure everyone in the op community knows these guys. Welcome, guys.
Hey,
Hey,
thanks for having us.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for being here. So for people watching, we're going to chat today about sleep processing in the objective personality system. The three of us are all MF audio. We all have the same, we're in the same quadra, NISE, TI, FE. Odom's a INFJ jumper, Dave's ISTP, and I'm just a standard INFJ. Odom has sleep first, Dave, you're sleep third, and I'm sleep fourth. Let's go over the op definition for sleep.
Yep.
Process and preserve energy for self before expending energy for the tribe. I guess that's savior sleep, really.
Yeah, definitely.
That's basically how you guys see it. Is that sleep for you guys? Pretty much.
Yeah, that's like one aspect of it. I think is preserving for sure. Yeah, and then I think there's some other aspects to it as well.
That's funny to me because it doesn't preserve my energy at all. It drains my energy when I do it. So I'm interested to talk about that for sure.
Yeah.
What's Odom? It's a savior for you. Mm-hmm. It's not for me and Dave. Do you even see it? Like, what's that like for you?
Do I even see it? It's like, it's such an automatic thing. Sometimes I catch myself and it's crazy because it's like, it's constantly, it's like, even as I'm doing things, I'm constantly reflecting. Like I kind of pause and I go away from the current situation. I always have to like process what's going on. And, it happens so automatically. It's really weird. And the times when I notice it happen is when something in the environment is forcing me to not do it, and my brain to do it. Right. You know, like, let's say someone's like, I'm talking to someone for too long, and I really want to stop and like process stuff, but they just keep talking, and I'm like, fuck, like my brain really does need that, like, you know, processing.
Do you like stop? Let me think about this. Or like.
No, I don't. I just live in. I accept the tension. Okay. I guess that's maybe it's because I have like play third rather than play last. Like I can't just accept that tension and be like, I know I need to process, but like I'm with people. Let me just be with people.
That's funny because I would stop people. I'd be like, wait, stop. You know, like let me think about that for a second. Don't keep saying more stuff because
interesting.
Okay.
I wonder if that's interesting. Yeah, I let it go. I mean, I let them keep talking, and I just.
My fear would
it's almost like I almost put it in one pocket in my mind. I'd be like, I'll think about that like later when I have some space. I'll just keep listening to them.
I would be afraid that I would forget that and not keep it. So I need to do it like now. You know.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
How about you, Dave?
I do that with Sorry, just real. Do that with like. With stuff I need to actually do in real life, I try to do things immediately because I won't do it later. So I'm like, I got to do this now because I won't want to do it later. It's like, I guess that's my way of outside world stuff. I just have to do it immediately.
Huh. And it's third for you, Dave. What's that like? It's a hobby.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think being third, and having like play and sleep close together, it sometimes feels like a savior. Like it feels like I do it a lot, you know?
Yeah.
But like, I'm not having these like, I guess, focused sleep sessions so much, but it is like hooked up, I would say, to my consume a lot. So like if I'm taking information in, like I usually have a second where like if I'm looking at video, I'll pause the video and then try to make sense of what I just like heard and try to make sure that it's valid. And then kind of do the double observer thing where I'm checking the concept with known physical scenarios and that sort of thing. And then I go back to consuming the rest. So I feel like it's hooked up there, but very rarely will I just like stop consuming or doing whatever I'm doing and then just straight up sleep process something. Unless it's something like super important. Like if I have like a major thing at work I have to do and I know I have to plan for it, or if I have to break it up into chunks or whatever, then I'll like just stop and get out like a pen and paper and something and like do the whole sleep process for that and kind of break things down and make sure I know what I'm doing there and plan and that sort of thing. So it's like, it doesn't feel like a demon where it's like, it's not something that drains me. It's not something that I struggle with, but it's something that I don't really prioritize that much just in and of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say that's the gist of it.
So you don't do it a lot intentionally then, I guess. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Not very intentionally.
So
sure.
Yeah.
They always talk about it being for the self. So I know that I a lot am NT puzzling, but it's not for the self. It's like for my job, I'm a computer programmer. So I'm often like thinking about the parts that I need to make this program work. I'm puzzling in my head, the NI and the TI.
Yeah.
But it's not for me. It's for work. So
yeah.
is that sleep? Is that not sleep? Is that something else? What is it?
I think.
Sorry,
you go ahead, Dave. You can go first.
No, you go ahead.
This FE stuff here. Come on.
I think it is tricky though, like, cause like what you're saying, is it for the self? And like I relate to what you're saying in the sense I'll just be puzzling things, and I guess TI, what works for me isn't like always like what I prefer. It's just like what works for me in terms of like what, like with my knowledge set, how can I utilize the best? It's like just trying to get the most utility.
Right.
So I kind of relate to what.
So it's kind of is for the self then, I guess.
Yeah,
sort of.
yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's like you have to remember that it's still TI and that it's introverted thinking. So it's still thinking in your inner world. It's not, you're not extroverting it. You're not talking about it with people or bouncing it off. You're lodging it, just inside.
Exactly.
So it's like, it's for the self in terms that that's what you want. Like you want to figure this out. It's for you to figure out.
You want it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's but yeah, I would still say that's sleep processing.
Okay. Because I'm doing that all the time then, but it's not like, I'm putting effort. I mean, I'm just doing it automatically. But okay, that's good to know because I like intentionally sleep processed something I had the other day where I didn't like someone and I knew everyone else was liking this person and I didn't like them. And I was like, I was like, okay, why do I exactly not like them? I was like, this is sleep. I'm gonna figure out why, the deep down why I didn't like it. And I did it, but it drained me a lot. I was like,
I see.
And it was early in the morning, so I had all my energy. So like,
wow.
So it took me like 2 hours to recover after doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I don't know how it's preserving energy. It's not for me, for sure.
So I think there's two aspects of it. So there's like doing that block banging in your head, but it's also related to energy expenditure too. So I believe like to preserve energy, you're not necessarily processing stuff, right? It could be that you're not doing shit for the tribe. You're just chilling out. You're afraid to expend that energy for other people. You'd rather stay home and read a book than you would go out to a party or something like that. So that's weird. There's more to the sleep than I think just processing. It's also about your actions as well. I think.
Okay. Because like Dave will talk about like meditation as sleep. Well, for me, it's like dialing down all the functions.
Yeah, that's
I agree.
So the NI and TI aren't pinging.
Yeah,
stop.
You actually stop sleep. You stop processing. You're not. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like in a way, it's preserving energy, but you're not sleep processing. I think the way they understand meditation, I don't know if they know much about meditation because they kind of shit talked it a little bit when they did their meditation Q&A where they're like, yeah, okay, well, if you want to find all the answers by just sitting there and not doing whatever, then you go ahead and do that. But they're doing stuff.
It's so beneficial for me because I've learned how to see the thoughts as they're coming into my brain.
Right.
And I can change habits because I'm like, oh, this is the situation where I'm usually going off and doing this thing that I want to stop doing.
Right.
Yeah.
I can see that and say, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. That's the thing I'm trying to stop doing.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I always see it as it's like, I notice a lot of like lead plays. They did stuff like this in the class with sleep lasts, and like lead plays might get into maybe substance addiction kind of stuff because of like the need to keep getting stimulation from the outside world if they don't gear it in a productive way. And I see like meditation as and like for them, what would help is like maybe expending that energy in a good way. So like exercise. And I notice especially like the SE lead plays, like they just need to be regularly doing exercise for some reason. Like it's just a weird pattern. Like Kevin Hart, Terry Crews, and like I don't know. And I just had this idea that maybe meditation is like the same thing what exercise is for play, but for like the sleep. And you kind of need to do both. Like exercise is generally healthy for everyone, and meditation is generally healthy for everyone. In the same sense, like it's a productive use of your mind rather than getting stuck in rumination. You allow yourself to be more of a observe, like more detached. You're allowing the thing to happen without like being too invested. Right. I don't know. That's just my spiel.
No, that was a good blast there.
Thanks.
That was good.
Thanks.
I think meditation's really I would only associate because it feels like you're not doing any of the functions. I think the only function that could really get activated with meditation, depending on what you're doing, is either your F function or your S function, right? Like if you're doing a meditation where you're just paying attention to your body or just to your breath, and you're kind of connecting more to your body and to your senses,
that's true.
But if you're doing like a feelings meditation, like metta or something, where you're actually trying to process emotions, then it's like an F thing, right?
That's true. Like
being a processing thing, though, at all.
You made a really good point, because like I think you're right. Like it generally always, when you meditate, you're completely cutting out the N and the T. Like you're trying to cut out just the part of you that's like the
puzzling.
Yeah.
Puzzling,
you're just trying to return to your most like.
So what would it be though? Like
self.
I'm like noticing the thoughts when they come. What part would that be? And I'm like trying not to grasp the thought, when it comes in, just let it kind of flow through. And not cling to it.
Yeah.
It's like
perhaps it just transcends.
It's like putting the brakes on the N and the T, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
don't
know.
Grab that thing and start thinking about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I get like It's I guess the easy we could talk about this for so long.
Yeah, we don't have to focus on it.
It's so weird. Yeah, it's very nebulous. That's why. It's like, but I guess the easiest way to say is it just like it transcends the parts. It's like just getting beyond all the parts. You're just kind of just killing everything. I don't know.
That's how I see it too,
Yeah. Also the when we're talking about the energy preservation stuff with sleep, it is interesting because I think the way they mean like energy I think they mean it in a very specific way. It's like energy you're expending externally, because like there's Benjamin did a really awesome video, and in the video he I may butcher this fact, but he was talking about how they recorded that chess grandmasters expend a ridiculous amount of energy, like in terms of like kilojoules, just by thinking. So there's a lot of like, but you won't see it. It's not external energy. So sleep is, you do expend energy, but it's internal. It's like your brain is using up like glucose to think all those thoughts. It's just not external. It's not in your body. It's not coming out. So it's a specific type of energy, I guess, that they mean you're preserving.
Right.
I guess.
That makes a lot of sense. Anything else on that, Dave, or
I
don't want to change channels and so I had been thinking, if we all three have the same modalities here, we have feminine NI and masculine TI for the sleep. Mm-hmm. So for me, the thoughts and the logic and all are solid, and then the intuitions like flow. And so if we changed one of those to be like, both masculine or both feminine, I can't even imagine what that would be like. Like, I like the fact that it's the way it is, because
me too.
I can play with the intuitions until I get the right thing that works for me. What have you considered, like, what would that be like what if they were both feminine? It's like, both flowy.
That I don't know, because like exactly what you're saying. It's like, how would you me? Yeah. And it's like with the flowiness of the intuition, it's like when I'm trying to process stuff, it's like I'm not like visual, but like I do get visual sensations of things. So it's like I'll get an impression, and that's just my NI, and it's just these flowy impressions, but nothing sticks. And I tend to not like sitting around. I need to like do stuff with it. But when it's like, if I'm processing something that has technical things within it, then I really stick and like I process that thing. It's like the TI relies on technicalities and rules and variables that you can start actually thinking about, and that's when my TI actually keeps me in the sleep. But if both were feminine, like I would always be doing stuff externally because there's nothing to keep me in my head. Like the only thing that keeps me in my head is like things like TI stuff to think about, not like my NI. Because it's just like it's there, then it goes away. Then I need to like do something externally to bring it back. It's weird. Does that make sense? Do you?
It makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah, definitely relate a lot. Dave, you want to?
Yeah, I think like for me, if I had masculine intuition, I feel like that's a dangerous combo because it's like I don't want to jump to conclusions too quickly, and I think I'm already kind of doing that with TI, or I'm already assuming that the logic is perfect or whatever, right? And also have the NI, the thing is perfect, and be like, I feel like I'm gonna be wrong a lot. But at the same time, at least like the patterns and the concepts and these like realizations that you have, at least will stick with you for a while. Whereas like now I'll come up with the coolest thing ever, and then the next day I'll completely forget I thought of anything. Which is tough. At the same, I wonder if they were both feminine, it would be harder for me to arrive at certain logical conclusions about stuff, or to really put stuff in my head. But if I actually went through the whole process and felt sure about something, you can be damn sure know that it's probably true and correct. Right. Because like of how feminine it is, it probably took so long to get that solid food. You know what I mean? It's like if you have feminine NI and it's like when it does lock onto something and you feel sure about it, you can know you're not fooling yourself. You don't feel like that very often, you know what I mean? So
and I'll see if someone doubts me in that instance. I'm like, come on, I put in all this effort. Of course it's right. I mean, how could you?
Yeah.
I don't want to defend it, but come on. You know?
That's the worst when somebody treats it like you just thought about it a minute ago. And I've been thinking about this for months. Right. And like the criticism you're throwing back at me or stuff that I was thinking about.
I've gone through that like over and over.
Yeah. True.
Because for me, it's like I'll go through iterations of I think it might be this or that or that. And that feminine and I can try different things until that's the one, right there.
Yeah.
It's like when I got my type back, it was not what I thought. And it was like, okay, they're seeing this in me. Assume that they're right. What would that mean? And I could play with it.
Yeah.
And it's like
that's what I do. That's exactly what I do. Yeah. It's stuff like that. Like if something contradicts information, I'm like, all right, let's assume it's true. How would this work? And
right.
Just I always
do that all
that.
the time.
Yeah. It makes life, and like sometimes, I mean, this is also before OP, but like because it's so natural for me to do that, I'm so surprised when other people don't do that. I'm like, I know. Why are they so rigid? Like
definitely,
just
try, see. Right.
Yeah. Mental gymnastics. Yeah.
Dave, is it like that for you?
No, if they gave me like a weird type that I wasn't like, if I got typed and I thought it was something, if they said it was like ESFJ or something, I probably would like, I wouldn't get like upset about it, but I'd be like, okay, maybe this is true. Maybe I'm just completely did my type wrong, which could totally be possible. They'd have to show me their logic, how they arrived at that. Yeah, I guess to inspect it myself and be like, okay, where did you fuck up? Okay, this actually looks reasonable. Okay, I guess I have to accept it then.
Right.
You know what I mean? I guess it's like the TI, like you're leading with that TI and we're leading with the feminine, and I like we're feminine on the front end and you're like solid on the front end. But then you'll go into the NI and then
I would want to if I had done all that processing NI TI trying to make it work and I couldn't, then I would go to them and say, okay, explain this.
Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't trust my ability to make sense of it myself. I'd be like, well, I can kind of guess why they came to this, but I don't know if those guesses are true. And I can't really know if that's how they did it. And I need to know how they did it because maybe they're seeing something that I'm not, which would be good info to have.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting.
It's like backwards. It's the same thing, but from the other angle. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
cool.
it's pretty
That's
interesting.
so cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, another thing about the whole having feminine NI but masculine TI when processing, I noticed, weirdly enough, my processing, like when I'm thinking of conceptual stuff, it just kind of flies away. It's like an idea and it goes away. When I'm processing tribe stuff, I'm just there, like thinking, like, let's say someone pauses after I say something. I'm like, do they not like me? Da-da-da-da-da. And it's like the TI, yeah, it's like the tribe stuff I can really stick with processing. But when it's conceptual observer stuff, it's like very just, it just goes, it doesn't stick in my head. You know, it's really weird. So I noticed that.
Like, how do you mean by it doesn't stick in your head?
Like let's say I think of an idea that's really cool. It's like I'm not gonna think too hard about how to make it conceptually justified. But what I will think about is I'll be thinking about arguing with like the tribe. Do you know? I don't know. It's like my mind will focus on the tribe aspect stronger than the observer aspect. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Unless the idea has, sorry, this is like me meandering.
No, that's good. I like it.
So it sounds like you like.
So are you like NIFE, like imagining like what the tribe is thinking and saying, and like trying to plan the next thing to say, or do I have to go back and?
And they're always attacking me, so I'm always just like thinking of like what to say, but it's never. I never really. I don't know.
Is there like a sense of finality in like your tribe stuff? Is that kind of what you mean? Like with the, like when you're just stuck in NI mode, it just kind of goes on and you're just kind of not really sure and you're not really checking it so much. You're just kind of like, well, and then with the tribe stuff, you're okay. I'm trying to make sense of this, but
it's hard. I haven't been very clear. It's like with the tribe stuff, I'm like in my head, I'm creating scenarios, and it's like I can just kind of like sit here for like an hour, and I'll just be thinking. I'll be worried about some tribe dynamic, and I'll just be like in my head seeing it play out, and like, but with conceptual stuff, I don't really let's say I'm stressed about like parking, and like this is stressing me out, and I have to like figure out the route. But for some reason, my brain doesn't want to think about it too much. It's like I'm thinking about it a little bit, and then I have to like.
Okay.
Then I just don't, and I'm just living in like the anxiety of the observer. But I'm not
your mind is like more opened up to the TIFI or TIFE thing, whereas the other stuff you're kind of blocking one part of it out, and you're like, I can figure this out later. I don't want to think.
Yeah, and it's like it's weird. I'll still be stressed about it. I just won't really think about it. Like I make so many dumb mistakes because I don't like really think things through. Like my girlfriend points it out because she's got masculine eyes. She'll be like, oh, how did you not consider these things? And I was like, I stop at the first step and I'm like, I can figure out as I go, like with the SE, like it's fine. But with like, with the TI stuff, it's like I have to think about every tribe interaction that's gonna like get in the way of my TI. It's like the TI really has to be solid before it comes out. Wow. You know what I mean? The NI doesn't have to be.
Like you're putting off the SE part of it a little bit. You're like, oh, that'll take care of itself. Like I know conceptually what I'm supposed to do, so that any SE stuff, it's not that important.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a good point. It could just be like single observing and then double deciding. I'm like taking my time with the decider stuff, and then the observer stuff. I'm just like I don't really want to think about it too much. That makes sense. Yeah. Maybe it's not the modalities so much. That makes sense.
So it's like I guess it's the opposite for me, where it's tribe stuff. I'm only like seeing my own perspective, and then there'll be like a thought in my head that's like, well, we should look at their perspective too, and it's like, hey, like I don't want to do that.
Fuck the tribe, yeah.
But like if it's with NINS, like I have to do both of those because it's usually out both. To me, like if there's an NI thing, well, who gives a fuck about it? NI if it doesn't do something in the if I can't make it match to the real world, and vice versa. Yeah. Okay, this is what it looks like in the real world. Well, that doesn't mean anything unless I have to stick with it, like what you're saying.
Yeah, right. Interesting. Kevin, what's your experience with that?
When you were talking about the parking thing,
Yeah.
for me, I would be more focused on the fact that if we get there and there's chaos, that I have to deal with, that. Like people are stressing because we can't find something. So I'm like, I need to get my idea of where we're going to park, where, get that all lined up, because I don't want that future chaos
Yeah.
of the people
Yeah,
being mad
yeah.
and like,
You're
what are we
thinking
going
about
to
the
do, and
people.
stressing. And I'm like, I can't have that.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
so. I guess that, like, for me in that situation, I would think about the chaos of people, like, not hating me, but like feeling negatively towards me. So
That's
in your
in
case,
there.
it sounds like you're
That's in there,
responsible.
though. That's
Like,
in
you're
there too. It's
Yeah.
I'm just imagining getting there, and it's like the worst situation possible.
Yeah,
And
just
I didn't plan enough, so I'm gonna get all this hate.
Fuck. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
Wow.
So I hate parking. I
I
don't
do too,
drive at the moment. But that's the worst part. Just yeah.
We used to go to like Comic-Cons a lot, and it's always a big city, and parking's insane. So you gotta plan way ahead and know exactly the route you're gonna take.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it can be stressful.
Yeah.
Dude, I try, like, if I have to park somewhere that sucks, like in a busy city, I try to like literally park in another city and then take like
Take a bus.
I try to hate parking so much if there's like a bunch of shit going on and I have to like fit into some small space. Oh, can we park here? Wait, there's a sign. What the fuck does that sign mean? You have to go through all that, and I try to get somebody else to do it, because even though I'm not in I first, I don't like doing parking at all. I think.
Yeah.
Stressful.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Try to bypass it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. We'll change the channel a little bit here. Dave, your savior functions are my demons.
Mm.
In the reverse there.
We're the dual. We're the opposite.
Yeah. So, what's it like to have like a double feminine NF demon state? Like, what is that like if you're in a demon state?
It's just like the NF just doesn't exist, or
You're just chill, right? You're just chill.
Yeah, I don't know if I would I definitely come off that way, but I may not feel that way in the inside necessarily. But NF, it feels like, what is that? Like, what do you do with that? It's the weakest thing. It's feminine. It's single activated. So it's like I feel like I can skip this part. Like this thing. Like, what does that even really exist? Or that's some shit.
Yeah.
You can get by without it for sure. Yeah. It's like,
and then when it comes to Blast, it's just like Blast is generally very weak and like timid. Like, you won't hear me forcefully blast to you ever unless I'm just really drunk or something. I'm just, a lot of a lot of like, here's what I think. You don't have to think that, though. This is just and I'm probably wrong too. I could be wrong. It's very like feminine and just weak, just like, But like Consume is the opposite, where it's like somebody will be like telling me stuff and they'll be telling me a story, and I'm like, what about this? What about that? What did you just say there? What is that?
I aggressively
It's the complete opposite of this.
same. Same.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Oh god. It's like sometimes I'm not aware of how aggressively I'm questioning someone until like I see their reaction.
I can see,
like,
you can see
I'm
they're
like,
not happy. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like, they'll feel kind of stupid because of how I'm like asking. I don't know. It's weird. I can see their reaction. I'm like, oh, I'm probably
like, why are you interrogating me?
Yeah, exactly. Interrogating.
Yeah.
My girlfriend says it too. She says like, when she's trying to tell me something, I'll ask so many questions and she just doesn't want to anymore.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like, this maybe isn't actually related to Consume, but when I like physically eat stuff, it's like I go into this like trance state, and then the stuff's just gone.
Yeah.
I don't even pay attention.
Too.
Yeah. I'm just eating. It's like,
yeah.
I don't think about it. Just get it in.
Yeah.
Be done with it.
For everyone. Everyone's usually halfway done when I get. Same with beer. I get a beer, I just drink all of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm not even trying to get drunk. I just want the beer.
Yeah. It's so weird. I have like one of my biggest issue is I have no self-control. And it's like if food is like, it doesn't matter like how big it's stuff like multi-packs or like of crisps or anything. If it's there, I have to finish all of it. Like I can't save anything in the house. Like so and my girlfriend is like, what's wrong with you? And I think
to get it to completion. That's what you don't understand. It's either gone or it's not gone. There's no because that leaves me thinking like, well, there's still more left. What do I do with this?
It has to all go. It's weird. And I'm the same. Basically, I have no self-control. Like I have to just consume it all. It's horrible. It's like I go into a trance. It's like it just snaps and I'm like, gotta take it in.
If you get like ice cream, maybe I'm the only one who does. I get like a pint of ice cream, I immediately throw away the lid because I know I'm not going to use that lid.
Yeah, pint is pretty small. Yeah. Pint's not too bad. That's funny.
Of course. Oh man.
Yeah, I had gained a lot of weight at one time. I was up to 210. I'm not very tall. I'm 5'9".
Okay.
2003. I used meditation though to notice that I wanted to get up and get food when I didn't need it, or drinks or sweets and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. And I lost like 10 pounds a month for like 6 months. And mostly kept it off. I put on a few pounds since then, but it was like the consume thing. I was just drinking sodas, sugar all the time, and not even thinking about it. It just kind of slowly creeps up on you.
Yeah, that's so cool though. Like the meditation, it just helps.
Because I could see I'm wanting to go do this thing for no reason. I'm not hungry. I'm not thirsty. I just want it. It's a habit.
Yeah,
and I could see that. It was like, wait a minute. That's the thing I'm trying to stop doing. I would get like, some water or, no sugar added stuff and just cut out all the sugar.
Yeah. Of course.
All of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Like you have like a higher self looking at your lower self antics.
You're not reacting anymore. You're like, oh, wait.
I can see it's like that habit that developed. I can see the code. It's like, these two things are true, then I'm going to go perform this routine. Now I'm like, I'm commenting that code out. It's like, I don't want to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm. For me, I do that too, where I see it, but I just like, fuck it. I'll still do it though. Like, even though I'm aware
that's me every time.
Yeah, you got to get to the point where you're like, I can't do that anymore. I have to stop.
Yeah. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, me neither. We've spoke about that too. Like sometimes, like if I'm on a binge, it won't stop. Like if I start, it's not stopping. This is the thing with food for me. That just reminded me. Like if I'm like, I need to be careful about like what I'm eating, be more mindful. I have to cut things out completely. I can't just be. I can't have like. Mediate with like how much and be like careful and like eat little bits. Like I can't, it's either all or nothing. So if I'm being healthy, I'm just like, okay, no. It's like I do a rule where it's like no junk food on the weekdays completely, and then weekends I can pig out if I want to. Then it averages out that it's like
it's less that way.
Yeah,
for sure.
You just go to the grocery store and you're like, Do you feel like you have to like quit things like cold turkey? Like if you're quitting something, you can't do the thing where you reduce it over time. I can't do that. I either have to quit it or I do not. Yeah. If I do the reducing thing, then it always fails for me.
Yeah, always. Like because if it's there, then you have to have all of it. Like there's no. Yeah.
It's a lot easier for me to do it that way as well. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I recently though decided to cut down on caffeine.
That's good. Yeah.
I was drinking a lot. It's sugar free, but it doesn't matter. It's still the caffeine. Yeah. But I've cut back. I haven't like just cut it all out, because I did cut it all out maybe 5 years ago, and I did it for about a year.
Oh wow,
which was nice. It was cool, but then I was like, why the hell am I doing this? I couldn't like justify it anymore. Like, I like it. So I might go off it again eventually, but
Yeah,
I wonder about the caffeine thing. Like, is it okay, we're about to trail off into another topic, but like I wonder like do the benefits outweigh the negatives, or do they cancel each other out, or is there Do you have? I feel like you probably have overall more energy throughout the day if you're not revving up your adrenaline and shit. But I don't. Like, I wonder if it's better to just skip caffeine altogether.
Well, for me, I'm trying to stop doing all my blast play inside my head because I don't know if you guys know, I've had social anxiety like my whole life, and I at some point started just doing all of the extroversion stuff internally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm still trying to fight to stop doing that, but my brain is like always going. And so I was like, maybe the caffeine, if I can cut that down, my brain will maybe slow down a little bit and calm down. But it's just an experiment I'm playing with. I don't know.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I can see how caffeine would probably do that.
Because I'm playing out every conversation. It just comes into my brain. It's like, oh, if I said that, it's like, so I'm doing all that blast and play up here.
It's weird, but like caffeine for me gives me more mental energy than physical energy. Like what you're saying, it's weird. It goes more to my head.
Same for me as well. It doesn't give me.
You
more
too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does help with physical energy if I need to do something physically, but it's more. It's just more
my
in
brain's
head.
ready to go, so I'll just get up and do it. It's not really the physical; it's the mental.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it's hard to get rid of that chatter in your head, but I feel like if you this is just like my opinion, but like if you go after lowering that directly, it like doesn't work. I think it has to be replaced because you have to be focused on something. And so the focus has to be redirected to the external world, the how you feel, the what's going on, what's in front of you, the temperature of the wind, all that stuff.
Yeah, and it's almost like if you try to do it directly to lower it, it's like you're going in against one of the laws of physics where like energy can't be created nor destroyed. You just need to redirect it.
Trying to lower it is the same thing.
It's more
energy.
To
not think is still thinking.
Yeah. So it just can't. Yeah, you just have to put it somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's like somebody in the group was saying, "How do I stop, or how do I start clinging to something? Stop clinging to this and start clinging to this other thing." I'm like, no, stop thinking about clinging to things. Just stop grasping things. Everything. Just stop. It's like you can't grab this and then say, how do I let go of this and grab that thing over there? You just have to stop grabbing stuff so hard.
Like clinging to things is like there's a good like Alan Watts analogy. Clinging to things is like muddy water. The best way to clear water is to let it settle. Right. And so the best way to uncling things is not to try to cling to something else or to try to pry your own grip off of it.
For sure. Yeah. That makes
sense. Preach that NF.
Preach that NF. That's not my NF. I borrowed that. So
that was ST clear NF right there. Right?
Yeah. The only way I can do it.
No, that's good. So we've kind of touched on a lot of the stuff I wanted to talk about. We can just riff some more or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna rest real quick. You guys.
Yeah. Actually, dude, I actually need it really badly as well.
Take a break, guys.
Okay. Yeah. I'll be right back. I need to. Yeah.
No worries.
It'll be like 5 seconds. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm here by myself then. I had made a bunch of notes. I'll just look at them and I'll make some comments. Actually, all three of us are double activated masculine SC. They have Otim and Dave have double activated double masculine ST consume. They're both blast last and they're both energy doms. And I am double activated MF, SF. So SF. I'm just sitting here talking to myself, Dave. I didn't want dead air, just sitting here looking like a dumbass.
I tried to hurry back so you wouldn't leave you hanging there.
Thanks. I was just talking about how I was mentioning that we're all double activated masculine SC, right?
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you two are double activated, double masculine ST consume.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you're double activated on
SF.
Oh, okay. Oh, on FE as well. Okay.
That's
Okay.
my extrovert was just like that's what blew my mind when I found out my type is I'm blast, play, savior.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was in the first column, the most introverted.
Yeah.
Do you
How
think
have
you were
you?
NITI when you were getting your?
I thought I was TINI, and my backup was NITI. I didn't see the double observing and the double deciding. And I'm a glass lizard like you, Otim. You're a glass lizard also.
Yeah.
I see myself doing both double deciding and double observing.
Yeah.
The double observing less, obviously, but
Yeah.
I definitely see it all the time.
Yeah.
For me, the glass lizard thing, we could talk about that for a minute, is it's almost a bad thing in that way because it prevents you from acting sometimes. It's like I can see both sides. I can see this and that. I'm double observing and double side. So it's like I get stuck. Like, what do I do?
Yeah, for real. It doesn't feel like you have like a superpower that will just. You're never confident. You have no sense of confidence.
It cancels each other out sometimes.
Because you're so yeah. There's like nothing to just
like I can see all the angles. Yeah, it's like
that's the thing that they. This is about Dr. K as well. They like what people say about like say if you have anxiety and like it's kind of like this. The smarter you are, the worse it is. The more paralyzed you are because you can see more and you just know how fucked you are. Like just human beings in general, we make assumptions about the world, like, but we need to for us to act. But if you see everything, if you see too much, it fucks you over. Like you're kind of paralyzed. So I was gonna bring something up earlier, but I forgot. It was about sleep, my sleep as well. I was just wondering how you guys related to this. It's really annoying, but when I'm trying to do anything, because of my sleep so automatic, it like every time I'm doing something, it's like I like stop and I have to like consider if this is the best way to do it. And it gets so it's almost like I'm constantly trying to find meta skills for everything I do. So like an example is I'm trying to learn Python, and 2 days ago, nice. We can talk about that afterwards. But 2 days ago, I was like going through a tutorial, and like I'm just doing the thing, and then I'm like, but there's a sense of like, wait, is this the best way I can do it? And I stop, and then I start researching what's the best way to learn coding, and then I'm doing that, and I'm like, wait, like. I'm trying to learn this, but maybe I should learn how do you learn in general. So then I stop and I start researching what's the best way to learn. And it's like I constantly stop myself when I'm in the middle of doing stuff to find out, optimize it. Is this the best way? And my girlfriend tells me, she points it out, and I'm like, fuck yeah. Like I'm never just letting the ball roll. I keep stopping and I keep trying to like find the best NT way. I don't know. It's weird. How do you guys relate to that?
I relate. Do you think yours is blast? Like since you're blast last, you think that's part? And that consume is so high, you're like, wait a minute, I need to consume more to get to that point. Is that?
Yeah, I think exactly. I think it's all those. It's like the sleep and then also being blast last. Just that. Like I imagine maybe sleep blasts won't be the same stopping so much. But yeah, it's probably also the blast last just to make it worse. Yeah. It's really annoying, but it's like, yeah. I'm trying to think. I think yeah, Dave, I think we spoke a little bit about this. I think you were saying you are when you do play, it's like you're happy to get feedback from the thing. Like when you're doing your hand pan, like you'll do the thing for hours. You're happy to keep it going. It's almost like, would you say it's like play is sort of, especially like SE play, you're happy to keep getting data. It's like you're doing the thing and getting feedback about whether it's working or not. Because that I don't allow that process to happen. Like I have to have it all figured out before I start. It's like I don't want any mess. I don't want any mess. I want the perfect, non-chaotic way, like the best way where there's little disruption. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out.
Okay, so there were like, okay, so there was also with how you're like looking up meta skills and stuff like that. I think the difference between probably me and the other ISTPs is like I'm
Mm-hmm.
responsible for the meta skills. Nobody's gonna teach me those. Like I
Yeah.
I don't feel confident that anyone can teach me like one of those meta skills. I
Yeah.
feel like that is going to be personal to me, and I have to figure that out for me, and it's going to be very specific to me. And so I
Yeah.
would never trust somebody's bullshit like how to learn. Like, yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I know how to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know,
Interesting.
but for me, it's when I'm learning, and then I like look at how I learned it, and like what could be improved by the way that I learned that, and what's the common denominator with stuff that I've learned, and where was I successful and where was I not successful, and then I make the own pattern because I don't trust anybody else.
Wow.
That's
Wait.
really good. I
That's
never do
really-
that.
Yeah.
That's really good.
I don't like.
That's
Oh
really good.
wow, that's so interesting. Because that's so different to me. In a sense, like I won't go to myself first. I like if I have a question, I need to get other things. And then from when I have it, I'll then be like, all right, let me just make something with this. But like I don't immediately trust myself. I don't trust myself actually, yeah. So I don't know if I don't know what. It's just interesting.
I would trust myself first and start, and then be like, oh wait a minute, I don't know what I'm doing here, and I need to go get some more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder. Do you guys have any idea what parts are making this difference? I don't know, or maybe it's just individual differences.
Probably.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think maybe double observing helps you to make it like kind of figure out those meta skills on your own.
Yeah,
Maybe that's
for
what-
sure. Yeah, and I have to go to the tribe to double decide. Whereas you have the observers, you can trust yourself. I don't have my SE, so I'm like, I need to go do the tribe. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like you have like your own data to like come up with your own like meta skills from that. Like if you just like, for instance, if you're looking at how to learn, look at all the other stuff you've learned and look at how you did that.
Fuck.
And then look at like,
I never
look
would
at
have thought of that.
something
Yeah.
like learned really
Yeah.
well, look at the steps that you did, and then borrow what was effective. And then just keep being aware of that when you learn stuff, and stuff should come to you, I think. And then
That's
you just
so good.
This is so it's like it's not even like it's like simple yet so profound. It's like if everyone did that, like,
It's like, what did I just do there? Yeah. Keep track of that. Oh my God.
yeah.
Wow.
And you can
It's
do that
weird.
with anything too. Like for me, like learning the handpan, like I'm borrowing patterns and concepts from like learning boxing, from learning how to program, from all. Even though they don't seem that related, there are some things they have in common. And so I'm using like how did I pick apart programming, or how did I pick apart this? I'm gonna do the same thing to the handpan, how that applies.
It's
But, like,
it's so weird.
I do a little of that where you break big things down into smaller things that you can do. I do that. I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
But
it's like
it's go on.
like for the handpan is similar to boxing in terms of like not the exact same, but there's like some similarities in terms of like the core sort of facets of boxing, right? There's like your technique, there's tactics, there's your physical endurance, there's all these little components that make up boxing where you're successful. And I try to see, okay, what are the components that make a handpan successful? So there's also technique, like there's a striking technique, just like within boxing.
Yeah.
And so there's a physical mechanics of playing the handpan.
Wow.
Then there's also strategy, like there's strategy in boxing, but the strategy is actually which notes to play after another, like what's a good melody to make, blah blah blah. And so like I'm breaking it down like I would break down boxing, and I would like, right. And so like I guess there is like a way of a meta skill of breaking things down and kind of attacking one thing after another. And I think that just is developed over time by learning a lot of different shit and finding
So
the
cool.
commonalities between all of those different
That's
things.
really cool. It's like you're using that NI though at the bottom to see the patterns.
Yeah.
But we have it at the top, Otim, and we're not doing that. It's like, what the hell's wrong with us?
Yeah.
Well, it's like you're doing it, but you're doing
Can't
it
see
like
it.
just in the abstract though. You're not including, like you're not doing it with the data. So
We're doing
much.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
You're bringing that out into the
it stays in
world.
pure
Yeah.
abstract mode. You guys never really.
That's
I
awesome.
don't say never, but you guys
Yeah.
sometimes are reluctant to bring it into.
Not intentionally.
Yeah.
I mean, we might be doing it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost like and like I was just working on this idea earlier, but it's almost like, you know, I'm sleep consumed, but it's like I'm like not like It's like, so what you described, like I'll have that thought of like, let me maybe look at myself and my experiences, but I have no confidence in myself. So
Okay.
go to the tribe. So I guess it's like what you're saying with double observing. I don't trust myself in my observations, so I'll like go to the tribe. And it's almost like even though I'm sleep consumed, it's like you are like what you described is more of a true version of sleep consumed. It's like that process is like actual sleep consumed, where it's like do you get what I'm saying? It's like from your function stack, it's like you're kind of doing that naturally. And in my head, I'm like, I need to go find out what the tribe is saying, so that if I'm doing something, I can explain it to people, and it's like everyone agrees on this. It's weird. I need that. That's the only way I feel confident, if it's like people agree on this. It must be like the function order in the stack.
It's probably like a self-learned thing that like you struggled with the SE to figure out on your own, and you've had more success by asking other people.
Yeah,
so you have the ability to do it on your own. With like,
it's like
with your question on the like, the play energy thing, where like you're trying to get everything perfect and set up in your mind beforehand. Oh fuck, my charger. One sec.
Chaos.
Example.
For me, there's like a little bit of that, but not like a whole lot. So it's like like with this boxing hand-pan comparison, it's like in boxing you're limited by your own mechanics. So like it doesn't matter what my strategy is, what my endurance is, what my whatever is. If my technique sucks, I'm never going to land a shot. It doesn't matter anything. Like as far as what combinations I throw, as far as my ring generalship, all that shit. Who gives a fuck? If your jab sucks, it doesn't matter what your boxing knowledge is, or what your like ring experience is. You're not going to. So it's like mechanics are the base. Mechanics, I'm not limited in any motion or any action that I can take. I can take any action I want. But once I have that base, then I go about figuring which action is the correct action to make, because now I have all the actions and I know how to do them all perfectly. And so now I'm not restricted by that. So I apply that to the handpan as well, is where I'm trying to get the striking technique down so well and get my hands so loose and able to move to any note, blah, blah, blah. Once I have that, then it's like, okay, now we can think about making melodies and shit. Now that I'm not restricted by my own physical capabilities, then I can just blah, 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 blah. And so that's I'm kind of doing that a little bit, where I'm breaking things down, but I'm not like getting it all squared away in my head first, because I don't have the confidence to do that. I feel like I have to get into it and fuck around before I'm able to figure out the concept, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense.
That is
that's really cool.
Yeah, it is
like
really
you're
cool.
learning the parts so that you can put it all together once you got those mastered, the little pieces of it.
It's like a divide and conquer strategy, but you don't want to do it too much. Like if I sit there and I just focus on the striking technique for 3 years, I am limiting how I could have been way better if I had focused a little bit on some other aspects too, because of like the law of diminishing returns. Like,
this is what
3 years on the striking technique. If I put 1 year of that into something else, I'd overall have more skill points, like with the handpan in general terms, right? So it's like,
wow,
it's to you, this stuff is so obvious, right? But like, it's just nice to hear that. And it's not even that like I don't.
It makes sense.
Know this.
When you hear it, just like, you're like,
it's not complicated, but it takes a while, I think, to like to get that. And I think for anyone, it would take a while to. But I think any sort of, or this is talking, any sort of truth or profound thing is always simple as fuck. Like it's never complicated, right?
Yeah.
And it's almost like if it is complicated,
it's probably wrong. Definitely.
It might seem like it's something that's obvious or something like that. Well, everything is obvious, and everything is not obvious until you understand it. Then it's obvious.
So true.
Otim, are you musical at all? Do you play any instruments or any of that?
No, not talented in that way.
Yeah.
Definitely not. I can play the triangle. That's funny.
I tried to learn guitar as a kid. I had a guitar and stuff, and I didn't have the patience. It was like, I wanted to be able to be like really good right away. I was like, and it's hard on your hands, and I was like crying. Like, I don't want to do this. It's hard.
Yeah. The process wasn't like worth it.
I imagined myself as a singer playing guitar, and I liked that idea, but The work for the
Yeah.
guitar was too hard.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put in the effort, but I liked singing, so
Yeah,
I did
a lot
that.
of things are like that with me, where like I'll start it because I like the idea, the outcome,
Yeah.
but then I just will give it up. Like I bought like because I used to do graphics design stuff when I was younger, and then when I was older, I was like, ooh, because I stopped doing it, and I was like, ooh, I like the idea of being like artistic. So I bought like a digital sketchboard that gets in my cupboard, but I haven't used it in the last 3 years. Like I tried it and I sucked, and I was like, it's not worth sucking for a while. So I don't know, but it's the same with me for lots of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta
Yeah.
like the thing.
The pro-
If you're just trying to
Yeah.
like just want to be good at the thing, you won't be good at
Yeah.
it. If you,
Exactly. Yeah.
like, really like it, then that'll spur you on into it. I think, right?
Totally agree.
That's what sucks
Yeah.
about anything, because it's like most stuff at the beginning is not likable because of how bad you are at it. Right?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
getting over that stuff. Yeah.
It's hard to get past that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a buddy that does this Inktober. Every October, you do one drawing a day for the whole month and ink it. And so he talked me into doing that like 4 years ago. So I thought I was going to start and I'd get tired and burn out and not do it. But I got unexpectedly, it was like, no, I have to do this every day. I don't want to be the guy that quit. You know?
Yeah.
So I did it, the first year, and I made it through, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. So now every year I'm doing it,
That's awesome, man.
Good. Yeah.
it's fun, but it's you get stressed though. I'm like, oh crap, I got it's like 10 at night and you're like, crap, I haven't done anything, and you gotta get something, and you gotta post it, and all that. So
Yeah.
You got like a couple hours left until
Yeah.
it's due. You're like, oh fuck no.
just stress, just do anything and just get it out there.
It's like I just want to
Yeah.
watch YouTube videos and maybe eat some
I know.
ice cream. I don't want to do all this stuff. Shit.
But yeah, I'll see that. It's like once I force myself to start on something, I'll get this brain, state where it's like, I don't want to be the quitter, the guy that starts something and quits.
That's
I have
like-
none of that. I am happy to quit.
It's not everything, but it's stuff like that where it's like other people are seeing it already and they know I've started, and I don't want to quit at that point. Like the guitar thing, I was the only one seeing the guitars. Like, well, oh well.
And this is something I realized some time ago, is that like usually when we're savior DIs, we assume our own like DI is what acts like as a source of motivation. And what I found in my life, and like just looking at other people, it's like the truest form of motivation is just from the DE. It's like, and whenever I'm doing something for someone, it's much easier. Like it's like I have to do it. There is no I don't have the thoughts in my head saying like give up, or like, I don't feel like doing this, don't do it. Like if you have to do something for someone, then it's like that's where motivation comes from. And so it's like thinking about the people who are savior DE. It's like they're using that to keep them going. And with me, it's like, since I'm not thinking about the tribe so much, it's easy for me to be lazy because I can let myself down. Like, yeah, it's like I'll do it tomorrow. It's fine. But then if it's someone counting on you, it's like, fuck, I kind of have to do it today. Like, do you know what I mean? It's weird. I don't put myself in that situation enough to keep me active.
It's even worse if your FE is last and you're not like, then you really just quit everything. Like,
Yeah,
like, or even like, I can't even do like self-imposed rules. Somebody like what you said, okay, I won't eat this during the week, but on the weekend I will eat. For me, it's like, well, or even a better example, when someone's like, if I study an hour a day, I'm gonna buy an ice cream. That's my reward. I'll just go get the ice cream. Like, why do
fuck the
who's the one telling me what to do? Like, I can't because I'm me. So it's like I'm just gonna get the ice cream.
Yeah.
That's
fucking funny.
That's so different for me.
Like that.
Oh wow. No, I'll be like, no, I've told myself I'm not doing that thing. I have to live up to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try to live up to it and fail and then be frustrated.
I might let myself fail a little bit, but
yeah,
I really need to put, 80-90% effort to get there.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you really need both deciders on board. But like what you said, Manny, like is definitely true. It's so much easier to do stuff when it's for somebody else.
Yeah.
It's easier to let yourself down. But
it's so easy.
So if you can that's why I think like when they say like TI being in the middle is the most powerful TI or the most capable, is because you're not usually just doing your TI stuff for yourself. You're also doing it for the tribe too. So you have the double motivation.
Right.
And your TI is practical and it's applicable to other people. It's not just some weird shit that only you understand. Do you know what I mean? So like your guys' TI is going to be better than mine generally, or more effective.
The weird thing is though, like with NI, I see it where like middle NI is just more grounded, and then Savior lead NI is just. Whew. But with TI, I don't actually see the difference between mine and like I don't see mine as more practical somehow. Like I do. Like, do you know
I see other like ISTPs, for example, when they come up with like these weird ass theories on stuff, and it's like this is too subjective. Like you've gone way down the rabbit hole with this shit.
Oh, right.
Nobody's gonna understand this. Nobody's gonna want to understand it.
I feel bad for them sometimes when they come out and they're like, "Look, this thing I've spent all this time on. Here you go."
Know, right? You're like,
I'm like, nobody's gonna like that. I feel bad though.
Doing this, but I don't want to spend in 3 hours trying to follow where you were at in your own subjective TI about this shit, because that's gonna be so hard.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. I see it more in INTPs than ISTPs. I guess because the SE is grounded, like. You know what I mean? But I get what you mean now. Yeah. Because, like, if I'm thinking about something, I'll always be aware of, like, is anyone going to care? Like,
right.
Like, sometimes I know I'm wasting my time. Sometimes I'm like, I am wasting my time here. But I'm doing this for me. It's fine. Yeah.
I'll do this. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this was good. This was good.
Talk,
yeah.
Anything else we want to talk about? I think we covered everything.
So how do you feel like that helped the questions you had about sleep? Do you feel like you have a better idea, or did that, or not?
Well, it was good. It was good to talk about what I was talking about, where I puzzle for work, and get you guys your input on. You think that's probably sleep too?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, you have TI and NI as like your top 3 functions anyway, right? Like you have a savior function in your last animal, so it's probably not going to be that difficult for you. Maybe it's draining, but it's not going to be like if it were like TI and last, then you'd be screwed, man.
Yeah,
but it's probably just comes down to it's just more about like taking time and doing stuff for yourself and not for the tribe. I don't know.
Well, see, with growing up with social anxiety, I had internalized all the tribe stuff. So I was doing stuff just for me all my life. I was leaning on the TI so much, but now I'm trying to get okay with using my saviors, actually.
Yeah.
Especially blast and play.
Oh, okay.
Because it's stuff I was just doing. I was keeping it up here in my head. Like I internalized the tribe, basically.
Yeah. It's like you have a unique situation where Dave and Shannon, they talk about the people who are opposite to you, where they're drunk on their saviors and that causes them problems. But your unique case is like you didn't like, you had your saviors, but you didn't grow it in the right way. So it's like I didn't put any effort in a bad position. Yeah. It was bad in a different way. So you have a different hero's journey.
The 2 feminine saviors.
Yeah.
And blast and play. It was like I was getting hate from family and tribe when I was just being me. So it was like avoiding the chaos. I was like, I need to do less of this.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting hate. It's like if I internalize all that, then everybody was better to deal with.
I have a wacky theory here. So like it's not all right. So it sounds like since you respected the NIFE so much and the blast play so much, you took the data to go into like sleep consume. So maybe your hero's journey is you being selfish so that you just blast play. Like you don't care anymore. You're just gonna blast play in a weird counterintuitive way. Yeah. Very like weird way, but maybe
it's twisted. Yeah.
Very interesting situation.
But it is helping me to understand sleep, because I am avoiding the processing for the self part of that. Sure. I need to start doing that more.
Yeah.
We're all taking deep sighs here. It's like
thinking. Well, it's like it sounds like if it's something that's like really exhausting, then maybe it's like there's still a lot of room for growth there. Because I feel like if it's something that takes a lot of effort, then it's probably something you're still figuring out.
I'd like to find a easier way to do it, because what I what I learned was when I was consuming with the intent of blasting, because I consume third and then sleep and then I loop back around to blast. If I was consuming thinking about I'm going to blast this, I saw myself puzzling in the middle. And I was like, I could use that to do it for the self.
Yeah.
But that drained me when I did that. So it was like,
Yeah.
there needs to be an easier way to just do it. Just stop trying to do it the other way.
Yeah.
Still trying to figure that out. But Thomas had mentioned to me that when you're playing, like he was talking about, driving is kind of like play because you're using your SE.
Yeah.
And he's like, when you're in that mode, it's easier to, a different part of your brain can go into sleep. So we could sleep process while you're driving easier, maybe, or things like that. I mean, that's just an example of it. But
yeah, I know, I get what you mean. There's a weird relationship.
It makes sense a little bit. Yeah.
I do see.
So like going on a walk, stuff like that, you can sleep process and stuff easier.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's like when I consume things, like I like watching people talk because when I'm consuming them, I then in my head, I'm blasting what they're saying.
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing. I always imagine myself blasting when I'm consuming people talk. Like if it's a video and I like what they're saying, I'll be like, yeah, I'm saying this in the future to people and people like it. I don't know. It's weird.
I'm puzzling too when I'm listening, when I'm consuming, like they're saying stuff. I'm like, okay, does that make sense? I'm like, NITI puzzling what they're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that does make sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So it slows me down when I consume, like, especially like in school, when I'm hearing a professor talk, I was like, wait a minute, I have to understand that. But he's already gone past, so.
Yeah. It's funny. I was just about
to hates it. That shit.
Yeah.
I stopped going to class after that. I was like, I'll just read the book so I can.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
We got similar.
I guess that's just a TI need. Like we need to go an hour pace for.
I need to make it make sense before I can go to the
me.
next part. Yeah.
Very cool. It make sense to you. It's got to make sense to the self.
Definitely.
I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Let's maybe wrap this up here. I think. I don't know if anybody's going to watch this, but thanks for tuning in, and Otim and Dave, thanks for doing this with me. Appreciate it.
It was great. It was awesome, man.
It's definitely
Thanks
helpful.
for having us.
I'm more than willing to come back on another video if you have another.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks.
Yeah, me too.
Let me hit the end broadcast.